Ladies and gentlemen, in my series of analysis, I have been taking time to look into the lives of greatest sons and daughters of Africa who left their footprints in the sand of time. And today I am going to single out a great African son, a great Pan-Africanist, Muammar Gaddafi, a man who was killed by the West after labeled a terrorist. Just as it is said that when you want to kill a dog, you give it a bad name. Gaddafi was given a bad name and therefore he was killed. Muammar Gaddafi's one of the legacy projects was the man-made river, which many media houses took time to cover and to give documentaries about. And the reason why I single it out, it is because it denied the Western countries sleep, because they never expected such a project to be carried out in Africa and to be an African brainchild.
Engineer Khalifa Galbati works for the Great Man-Made River Authority. He says without it, Libya's cities would be dry.
People, they drink this water since 15 years ago now, and everybody happy.
Decades ago, oil companies exploring in the south found not oil, but water. This is an access point leading down to a tunnel beneath the sand. It carries hundreds of thousands of cubic meters of water from the Sahara in the south to the northern coastline every day. And Canadian technology is being used to guard the integrity of the line. Here, engineers from a Calgary-based company called Pure Technologies are laying fiber optic cable into...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a project that costed Libya 33 billion United States dollars. The greatest man-made river is a testimony to the fact that Gaddafi did not waste his 42 years of rule. He wanted to provide fresh water for his people. Thus, he worked towards turning the desert green and making Libya self-sufficient regarding food and water supply. Libya, a country located in the northeastern part of Africa, just like most of the countries around it. Libya, one of the sunniest and driest on the planet Earth. Freshwater sources are scarce. There are also many parts of this country which can go many years without rainfall at all. Before the project, less than 5% of the country had enough water for settled agriculture, and other than much expensive desalination plants on the coast, there were no real means for any water supply. Just as it is recorded in the Holy Book, the Bible, in the book of Genesis, chapter 26, verse 19, Isaac's servants in the valley of Gerar dug a well and discovered that it had a clean water. These were wells that were once dug by their grandfather Abraham. In the year 1956, vast quantities of ancient water aquifers were discovered that dated back to the Ice Age. It was purposely for oil exploration mission, but instead the team discovered 4 huge water basins with capacities of 4,800 and 20,000 cubic kilometers, ladies and gentlemen. Further studies shows that most of this water was collected between 38,000 and 14,000 years ago, a time when the Saharan region enjoyed a temperate climate. So soon after massive engineering projects was commissioned by Gaddafi, consisting of a network of underground pipes aimed at tapping this fresh water from ancient underground aquifers and bringing it to the drought-stricken Libyan cities. The project was termed Eighth Wonder of the World by Gaddafi, while the Western media, as it is their norm, to vilify and to demonize any African brainchild project, it was named a vanity of project and the pipe dream of a mad dog. But the fact is that till date, the Great Man-Made River project has proved to be a fantastic water delivery system, changing lives of millions of Libyans across the country. Initially, Gaddafi planned to use this mega water project to create large-scale agricultural projects in the desert, but later public reluctance towards moving made him to change the plan and to bring water to the people instead. And in the year 1984, the foundation of the pipe production plant were laid by Muammar Gaddafi and Brega. With that, the Great Man-Made River project was initiated. The project constituted of around 1,300 wells in the desert, going down to 500 meters deep in order to pump water from subterranean water reservoirs. The pipe routes passed through the cities of Tripoli, Benghazi, Sirte, and elsewhere, providing water to about 6.5 million people through a network of underground pipes which were 2,800 kilometers long. The first city to test this was Tripoli in 1996 at the completion of the first phase of the project. The civilian war broke up in the country when the project was on its third phase. Even with the last two phases yet to be completed, in the Great Man-Made River is the world's largest irrigation project. Ladies and gentlemen, if and when the fifth and the final phase of the project is completed, the network will consist of 4,000 kilometers length of pipes, enabling 155,000 hectares of land be cultivated. Due to well organization of this project, in 1999, UNESCO accepted Libya's offer to fund the Great Man-Made River. The project also won the International Water Prize, an award that is only given to remarkable scientific research work. Muammar Gaddafi said during the inauguration of this first phase of the project in 1991, after this achievement, as I quote, "American threats against Libya will double. The United States will make excuses, but the real reason is to stop this achievement to keep the people of Libya oppressed. In July 2011, the great man-made river water supply suffered a setback. It was bombed by NATO airstrike near Brega. A factory was also destroyed that produces pipes, with NATO claiming that this factory was being used as military storage facility, with rockets being launched from site. NATO's attack on the pipeline disrupted water supply immensely, cutting down the water supply for over 70% of the population, who have become incredibly dependent on the pipeline for water supply. With the bloody and gruesome civilian wars and nowhere in sight, the present and future of the great man-made river project is in great jeopardy. We know the contribution of Muammar Gaddafi, not only in Libya, but also in Africa and beyond. We know the dreams that Muammar Gaddafi had for the continent of Africa. That could be the reason why the West did not have a sleep. The West would not leave him to live, because if they would allow Muammar Gaddafi's ideas for the United States of Africa to see the light of the day, then it would be a nightmare to them.